Oh, hi. Just doing some reading. Today I felt like baking because it's my friend Brennan's birthday tomorrow, or at least his birthday party. So I'm gonna make some brownies. These brownies, camouflage chocolate fudge brownies from Bon Appetit, because we're very cultured in this house. And what I've got going over here is some water that is simmering, because what we're gonna do is make a bain-marie. I chopped up some cream cheese and accidentally sprinkled some cocoa powder in it, but that's fine. It happens all the time. So I've got some water simmering. So the bain-marie is basically a way that you can melt butter, chocolate, cream cheese without it melting too quickly or irregularly or burning. So you have some simmering water in a heat-proof bowl. You don't want the water to touch the bowl. So basically, you're gonna put the bowl on top of the water, and the steam is what's going to slowly melt what's in the bowl. Can you hear that? That is chemistry happening. Solid becoming liquid. So I'm gonna let this, and you can already see it starting to soften up. See that? So we're gonna let this soften up a bit, and I'll be back in just a second.
And here we have some lovely softened cream cheese. Take a look at this beautiful B-roll. We've got some decadent dark cocoa powder, some cubed up butter. Oh, don't forget the flour. And just a bowl of some beautiful white sugar.
Okay, so here we have our softened cream cheese. You'll notice that I'm wearing an oven mitt now, because if you don't, you will grab this scalding hot bowl on accident and yell beep at the top of your lungs. So just like be safe, kitchen safety is important. So I still have the water simmering over here because we're gonna get back to that in a second. But here I have, see, it's nice and soft and it's ready for the next step. The recipe calls for your eggs to be chilled, so we did that. So I've added 1 chilled egg to our cream cheese. I also have a 1/3 cup of sugar separated. I have also accidentally dropped some cocoa powder into the sugar. Just, you know, if you're following along at home. So then we've got a 1/3 cup of sugar, and we're gonna get our vanilla extract and do half a teaspoon of vanilla. Also with some remnants of cocoa powder. So we're just putting cocoa powder and everything today. And then we're also gonna do a 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, because everyone at the Bon Appetit test kitchen uses cultured and kosher. Oh my God.
We interrupt Grace having an actual stroke with footage of a sad, sad doggy.
This is like very coarse, which I'm sure is part of the appeal. So we're gonna add that, and then it says very specifically, so we're gonna mix it up. We're gonna mix it up with our whisk per the ingredients.
Hey guys, editing Grace here. Per the ingredients, what was I thinking? Per the recipe. Duh, sorry about that.
So let's get that stupid spatula out of there, right, you guys? Get out of here. So we're mixing it up. It says to whisk until very smooth. Our cream cheese mixture is pretty thin and pretty smooth. So we are going to transfer half of it back into the bowl that we originally had the cream cheese in. It's about half. Also, I love cream cheese. Yummy, yummy. And then with our tiny bowl, we're gonna take 1 1/2 teaspoon of cocoa powder. Mix that in.
Hands were washed throughout the process of making these brownies.
just whisk that up. Whisking business. Now we're gonna get another heat-proof bowl for our bain-marie, because what we're gonna do now is melt our butter. This is 10 tablespoons of butter. I've got them cubed up just so they'll melt faster. And we are going to let that melt down. And it says to go ahead and add your remaining 1 cup of sugar. Oh yeah, that butter's already melting. 1 cup of sugar, and then this is your yeah. And then the rest, all of your cocoa powder. So this is 3/4 and 2 tablespoons. So we're gonna get that in there on top of that melted butter.
Just let it all melt together and become homogeneous.
Okay, so we've still got some of our butter cubes melting, but the cocoa and sugar has really started to combine. As you can see, we've got a really nice dark flavor.
Color.
This is, of course, going to be the base for our brownie mix. The butter is melted and fully incorporated. Once we add our 2 chilled eggs to this, it is going to like gloss it up more and look like an actual brownie batter. But these brownies are so fudgy and moist. Now I've got pretty much, yeah, we've got all of our butter melted.
5 minutes later.
Welcome back. So we've let the beginning of our brownie batter rest for 4.5 minutes. I went ahead and just added 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. And what we're gonna do now is mix in 2 cold eggs, 1 at a time. Why 1 at a time? I don't know. It says to whisk vigorously until smooth and glossy. Let's do it, shall we? Keep up the good work, Murphy. So we've got really thick brownie batter, and we're just gonna mix it all up. And you can already kind of start to see it's combining with the cocoa powder, with the sugar, and it's already starting to look glossier, a little wetter, a little bit more like what you think of when you see brownie batter. Can you like already tell that these are gonna be the most glorious fudgy brownies you've ever had in your life? Camera guy?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, egg number 2. Oh, there we go. So it's really softened up. It's gotten a little more liquidy, but it's still, these are pretty dense brownies. They're super fudgy, so it's not gonna be a really runny batter. Okay, here's the most important part, you guys. Add flour. So what we're gonna do now, we're done with the whisk. So I like to just kind of separate all my little whiskey things because I've got a silicone whisk and just kind of shake it off. And then give the little remnants of batter to the support staff if they want it. Okay, so yeah, now we've got this nice batter. We're gonna add our flour. So I'll just tell you right now, if you forget the flour, you're gonna get pudding. You're just gonna get a whole big old pan of pudding and you're gonna look like a fool. So let's mix in this flour.
Making brownies, baby. Making brownie batter, baby. Oh yeah. Brownie batter. Making brownies.
We boast progress, not perfection. So what I'm doing, I've got my, I think the recipe calls for 9 by 9. I think this is technically 8.5 by 8.5, but we're gonna allow it. So I have sprayed the inside with some Pam, and now we're getting some parchment paper, and you're basically gonna like They do this in Europe a lot. They do this on Great British Baking Show a lot, where they line it with paper, and then you put the thing in, and then you bake it, and then you can just lift it out when it's done. And so we're gonna try it. Obviously, not an exact science. You're just kind of eyeballing it. So I just kind of lay out excess paper, and I just like cut out the 4 corners, just like really haphazardly, just like really eyeballing it. Yeah, just like that. And then the idea is you just kind of like bloop, 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 just like that. And then this is when, then you'll put this beautiful stuff in there. So what the recipe calls for is that you scoop out, I'm kind of eyeballing a 1/2 cup of our brownie batter to set aside. I'm gonna grab my Pam. Sorry. Were you not what?
The Murphy.
Oh.
So sad.
Are you okay? So then I'm gonna spray. So I sprayed my pan, put the paper in. Now I'm spraying the paper too much. So what we're gonna do is take our gorgeous brownie batter. It is like, I forgot to mention this, but after you incorporate all the flour until there's like no white left, it says to stir vigorously for another 30 strokes. So it's not only dessert, it's a workout. So now we're going to scrape this. Yeah, that is like freaking grout, man. That is heavy. So we are going to scrape that sucker in there. So let's just smush that sucker down in there. Lots of good crinkly sounds. Whoop. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so that's what we're looking at right now, just with our brownie batter. Super fun. My sous chef is gonna help me get my 2 cream cheeses. It's still like not very set at all, which will be fine because we're gonna bake it and then we're gonna pop it back. So there we go, we've got the cream cheese. Now we've got our cocoa cream cheese. Scrape that in there. I'm just gonna go kind of all willing. Oh yeah, see, that thickened up pretty nicely. I think the cocoa powder did us some favors there. And then we're gonna take this extra brownie batter and kind of just like lop off, some globs and just plop it all over. So ideally that batter would be a little bit more runny so we could like spread it a little bit more. But you know what? We can do that on our own. We do the work here. We don't need no batter to do anything for us. See? My goodness. A work of art. That's what's fun about baking. You get to make it look however you want it to look. Or not how you want it to look at all. It's up to you entirely. And we're gonna throw these suckers in there for it says 22 to 25 minutes. All right, and we'll be back once those are out of the oven. Okay, so we just took our brownies. They were out. They were in the oven for 25 minutes. Now we just want the cream cheese camouflage swirl to settle. So we're gonna let it cool down, and then these are really gonna live in the fridge. Pop out the paper, cut it 4 across by 4, and you have these like decadent little fudgy, dense, yummy, bite-sized pieces, and I love them. And so yeah,